once again to the Orange Power Podcast. Casey Kendrick along with Kenny Gajewski. And Coach, this is our first regular part of the season with the TV side of things. So I thought we'd go back a little bit and just kind of recap the season to where we are right now. But I wanted to start with the fact that you're 26-2, and upon my novice research, that is the second best start in school history. No, you don't care about how you start. It's about how you finish, right? But, man, that's a great start.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's cool. I mean, we've done some great things up to this point. It's been one of my most memorable years up to this point, I think, and just because of the people involved. This team, I think we start there. This team has just they've been bought in since day one. We gave them a lot of new looks in the fall. We put a lot of new challenges in front of them. I felt like I needed to do that as the leader of this program, and some of it was for them, and some of it was for me and my staff. So I'm just grateful that they bought in. They're reaping the fruits of their labor through what I would call like season one, which is the non-conference schedule. And I'm happy with what they've done up to this point. I think they're pretty happy too, but they also know that they've got to get better. And that's what we got to do.
Well, let's talk about the makeup of this team. And you and I have talked a bunch already over the course of this season about how many new faces were there. But I think you have 5 kids that have 3 or more years experience at Oklahoma State. And, of course, obviously there's some graduate students, and that's the COVID effect. You have 9 kids that have a freshman or redshirt freshman tag on them. And then you have 5 kids that are actual transfers. And that obviously doesn't incorporate everybody. There's some sophomores and other kids. But that is a lot of – that's some veteran group. That is a brand new group, and that is a lot of youngsters and transfers coming in. It's not easy to take that and blend immediately. Yet, through a 26-2 start, it would seem the blended family has come together quite well.
I think the real story, and you and I have talked about this, the real story of this season is what our seniors have done to welcome these new people. That is the real story. When you're coaching a team and you're trying to get this cohesion, if the older people that have been here for a long time aren't receptive, aren't willing to take a back seat at times, aren't willing to swallow the sword at times, we can't be where we're at now. So I'm really grateful to the Taylor Tucks, to the Shy Factors, to the Kiley Naomis that have been here for this is their 5th year. They have opened the door and allowed these other people to feel very comfortable from day one.
And if you talk about those kids, obviously – you're talking about the 19 class, right? They went to the College World Series. In 20, we didn't have a College World Series, so they didn't experience that. In 21, they went to the College World Series. In 22, they went to the College World Series. They bring a wealth of what it takes and expectation, and if you're coming in, we're going to accept you. However, you better adopt the Cowgirl Way because we're going back our last year too. And so there's that obvious leadership. Now, I've not been privy to a conversation that looks like that, right? It looks more loving maybe than that. But they're not going to accept anything less than we're going back, and here's how we're going to do it. Let's go.
I think we're gonna look back, and this is probably going to be the most successful class in our history here. And that's no disrespect to some of the teams that Coach Fisher had. I just think in this day and age with the parity and the competitive landscape that we're in, it's not easy. We're one of 3 schools who have been to OKC the last 3 years. That's not easy. I know that. I don't take it for granted. You have to earn it every single year, and these guys have done that. And then they're doing it with a completely new group, really in like their first opportunities to really lead in a great way, and they've done nothing more than that. They've done all of that. They have led at a level that we've never seen here at least in my 8 years.
So let's talk about I thought we'd take one of those kids out of each of those categories and kind of talk about them. So let's talk about a kid who's obviously been here 3+ years, and that would be Kiley Naomi. Number 1 in double plays, turned one against North Texas just the other night. Number 2 in runs scored, number 2 in home runs, shy of Sid by 6 home runs now. Oh, wow. And when you look at her career, coach, as a whole, we've talked so much about her and how Sydney Pennington slid over and she came in, and just the phenomenal career that she's had. But, I mean, you talk about an anchor. That's a really good anchor for this team. You know,
I didn't know any of those, to be honest. So that's kind of like makes me go, whoa. She's special. The things I'm more up on right now is I heard she's like within 7 hits of last year's total.
Wow.
She's already got more RBIs this year than she had last year. Wow. We haven't even started conference yet. So those are the things that I look at and go, here's a really proud kid that we asked to redo everything that we've done the previous 4 years, unravel it all, and we're going to put it back together. And I need you to buy in and trust in this, and I'm going to help you on the way. And for her to say, I'm in. That's all I know. At the end of this year, if she's that close on a lot of those things, she's going to break them all, and or be close. And she will go down as one of the greatest players here. For everything that she's done. And I'm disappointed in myself at times that I didn't give her more of this in the previous 4 years. And so that's what I want to do. I want to be able to look in the mirror and go, I need to help her achieve what she thinks she should achieve. And sometimes that comes with really hard decisions. But I'm always going to make those in the best interest of our team.
And interestingly enough, you don't. This is a very slippery slope, but I'm going to go here anyway because I'd love to do that with you. When you look at the greatest ever at any program, that kid was there their entire career, right? It's not going to be I was there for 2 years or I came in and we had a great year. In today's world, a portal, and obviously you guys have thrived on it, and the portal has been a beautiful thing for some of those kids who were not in a good spot and have landed at Oklahoma State, and they've talked so glowingly how this is what I've been looking for. But when you look at a Kiley Naomi in a place that obviously is very good and it's drawing in people, it's still so easy to go, I want to go try something else. I want to see other parts of the country. I want to see how they do it. It's not Kiley. Kiley came from a long ways away, walked in and went, man, they're accepting me, and I'm still a long ways from home. And she found a home, and she stayed for the entire, not 4 years, 5.
She had every reason to leave after last year. Like, what more can you do? And her year was not up to her standards. And so it would have been really easy to say, you know what? I hit that peak here. I need to go see what else is out there. And I don't know that I could have, talked her out of that. I did tell her that we're going to make some changes. And if you can't do it, I understand, but let's us help you find the right spot now.
Wow.
And that wasn't easy. When you're looking at one of your best players in the eye and saying we're going to make changes, you're probably not going to like them. I personally think they're going to really help you. I think you could have the best year you've ever had. But I don't know what you're going to decide on. Yeah. And she left my office like, I would never leave here. And so it's really cool to have those type of conversations that take some guts, but it's even cooler when you have a kid like that. I mean, this comes from her mom and dad. We're not quitting in anything. And we miss out in our society now. It's too easy to quit. It's too easy to walk away. Too many other what we think are good opportunities, but they're really not. The best opportunity for Kiley was right here. And she knew that. Her dad was a big voice in her ear, and I'm grateful.
It's so easy to say that you know what, we're going to do what's best for you. But when you really say it and you're going, I mean, the answer could be, Coach, you're right. Maybe it is time. Was there any fear in that? Because you're pretty fearless on those conversations. And especially when you're pulling someone out of a starting role or you know, things are really drastically changing, coaching change. The things you don't want to deal with, you're really good at. You're not afraid of it. But were you a little nervous there going, oh, what if she really does go, yeah, Coach, I see what you're saying.
Scared to death. Scared to death. I mean, if you want to ask hard questions, you have to be ready for an answer that you may not want. And sometimes that answer may be directed right at you. And so I was willing to have the conversation because most importantly, I care about her. So, like, if she's in a bad place, then I failed her somewhere, and I need to figure out how to help her. So that's the commitment I'm going to make to every kid who says yes to OSU. I'm all yours, and, like, I'll be yours forever. Just like when we recruit these kids, this is a forever thing. This is the Cowgirl Way. This is the way it's done. You know, we had a kid that we played just last night, Tatum Sparks, playing third base for North Texas. I saw in her eyes that she was really nervous to walk over to me. So I walked all the way to the bag in the bottom of that first and put my hand out and said, hey, welcome back. And had that conversation. This isn't for everyone. This is hard, okay? And or I should say, this is for everyone, but not everyone's for it.
Sure.
And so she made a decision. She wanted to play more. I supported that. I would have helped her. She didn't ask for my help, but I would have helped her in any way because she did everything right here. So we just look back and go, hey, conversations are hard. I have them every day. They don't get any easier. Sometimes you don't like what you hear back, but at least everybody knows where they stand.
Went a little longer than maybe intended, but I still want to go through a couple of the levels. So let's talk about a Rachel Becker. I mean, here's a young lady that put a lot of numbers up in the Big Ten. She had a lot of really good numbers at Purdue. Comes here, she could start at shortstop in a lot of places, but she slides over to second, says, okay, Coach, that's where you want me. I'll help you in the middle of the field. Looks great there, playing on the opposite side, throwing from different angles, and batting .535, whatever it is. I mean, see, she's all in.
She is oh, man, Maddie Sue, don't be mad at me. But this is the best second baseman we've had here. The whole package, you know, and Maddie Sue was one of the greatest players that we've had in our history here. But what Rachel Becker has done, playing is a true shortstop, playing second base. The double plays that we are turning are as good as I have ever seen in softball.
Wow.
I've been around some great ones. I told one of our coaches last night, Rachel Becker is playing a better second base than Kelsey Stewart played in her first 3 years at Florida. It is unbelievable. The turns that we can make. We have the best middle in the country. There's nobody that has a middle like we have. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure that there's anybody that has an infield like we've got. It is special, and Rachel is a huge part of that. And her selfless mentality, she never wanted to unseat Kiley. She just wanted to play and win. For a kid, I mean, she may have won more games up to this point than she won at Purdue all of last year. Wow. I don't know how many they won, but they never went to a regional. So that tells you a little bit about that. She is just having a blast and is special.
Special also in left field. So we've talked about the kids that have been here a while, the transfer, now a freshman coming in who should be a senior at Southmore. Tallen Edwards has come in and has really seized that left field position, has made some terrific plays. She's, maybe not as consistent as she wants to be at the plate, although she's been really good. But she turned 18 in November. So to see what she's doing and to see, again, the attributes of your seniors, to welcome in a freshman who was 17 when she got here, and then for her to thrive the way she has, again, just a remarkable story.
Yeah, she's got a remarkable story. She got off to just an incredible start. She's getting a taste of really good coaching now on the other side, and probably had never had to deal with video where people have tape on you now,
right,
and they see what you do well and what you don't, and they're going to keep pounding what you don't until you fix it and change it. So she's going through that process now. It's frustrating for her. I don't think she's ever struggled in her life. I think she's still hitting above 350 or close, but she was hitting well over 400 for a long time. So she's got an amazing talent. She's an amazing talent. She's an infielder playing outfield, which makes us really good. And she has a pretty good IQ for a kid her age. And so fun to watch, got to get better. Very high on her. Really just her improving her off the field skills are probably number one for her right now. She's going to be great at softball. It's managing all the stuff that these kids have got to manage. And for a kid who should be a senior in high school, sometimes she looks like that, and sometimes she looks like shy factor. It's just kind of hot and cold. So we got to get her to be consistent. She's doing that, working on it. Pretty happy.
Good stuff. Obviously, again, we've got plenty of shows through the course of the season. I want to talk about the depth of this team, the different facets of the game that are going so well for you guys right now. But let's go ahead and turn our attention to this weekend, Season 2, right? If we just wrapped up Season 1, Baylor is coming in here, and a much-improved team, a team that has knocked off Oklahoma, a top 20 team. And what better way to start the conference than with a good team like Baylor?
Yeah, it's going to be a true test. We'll face their number one kid twice. I'm fairly certain. Darian Orm. She should have beat OU last year. They dropped a fly ball with 2 outs. They cost them. She had them beat 1-0, I think. I think she was part of the beating them this fall or early in the spring. She can go. Throws firm. Got a good changeup. But we've had success against her, so we face her a lot. We'll go back and work on that. So we're gonna have to bring our A game. Got a lot of respect for Glenn Moore and the time he's spent at Baylor and LSU before that, and he can really coach and they'll do things right. So it'll be fun. I really hope we're gonna have just huge crowds because we're gonna need it. They don't like it. They're not going to like the horn. They're not going to like a lot of our outfield deck people. They complain about it every year. So I hope we have that ramped up. And I hope we give Marlon reason to blow that horn. So I'm pretty excited about that. So it'll be fun. It's conference time. It's crazy to think we're 28 games in. I'm blown away. But it is what it is. And it's time. We got to keep going.
Great stuff. Obviously, it's going to be a fun series. 6 o'clock on Friday night, 2 o'clock on Saturday, noon on Sunday, a 3-game set, and the Cowgirls try to get off to a great start in the conference season. All right, last thing. You're all about softball, but ultimately Oklahoma State. I think you're sporting an equestrian hat. Or at least there's a horse and a cowboy on the hat. There's a swinging Pete on your chest. Man, we got everybody represented right now.
I don't. If this is an equestrian hat, I'm all in for Larry. I know they have the Big 12s here this weekend, so we wish them the very best. They're really got off to a slow start and are really kind of turning it on. Beat some higher ranked teams, so that's cool. I'm a huge fan of all of our teams here. I try to be like Coach Boynton as best I can. It's really hard.
Who was, by the way, at your game against North Texas.
Yeah, he's we've become really good friends and have a lot of respect for Mike and what he's doing, and got a tough gig. I'm glad I coach softball. That's all I know. But we have a really cool group chat with all our head coaches. Last night, Mike sent off a text in that just congratulating Josh and our team on our wins, and everybody chimes in. It's really cool. And now we've got our first female in there with Coach Hoyt. She's in there, and I'm really proud of the way she interacts in that group, and it can be intimidating with a lot of men. And she's been awesome, and doing her part in that. And I'm a huge fan of our golf program and Coach Holder and Alan and all the people here. I want to support them all because they support us. And it's just a cool place. It's different. It's unique. I can try to sit here and explain it, but I can't. You just have to dip your toe, and once you dip your toe, you're done. And it's what makes it great.
So I guess we need to get your guys in the Navy SEALs to help define what that is too. I mean, they define Cowgirl Way for us. Maybe they need to define what that cohesion is among the coaches as well. Just another thought for you.
Oh, thanks. Just more money to spend, more money to raise so we can do more.
I'm always trying to help you in your personal development. That's good stuff. Coach, good luck against Baylor. Appreciate the time, and looking forward to seeing you guys at the ballpark.
Appreciate you having me.
Good stuff. All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Orange Power Podcast for Coach Kenny Gajewski. I'm Casey Kendrick. We'll see you guys next time.